Catherine, the Princess of Wales, portrays a timeless elegance that is always both seemingly classic yet trendy at the same time. How does she do it? With her hats, of course. Hello and welcome to a millinery hat commentary video. My name is Ilona, I am a milliner based in London, and today I will be looking at the hats of Catherine, Princess of Wales. Catherine has now been a member of the British royal family for more than 10 years and so has an extensive wardrobe of outfits and accessories. This gives us the perfect opportunity to talk about how a hat can complete an outfit, as we get to see the same coats and dresses worn with or without different hats. For more videos like this alongside hat making tutorials, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Now put your fashion stylist hats on and let's get started. We are going to look at two aspects of hat wearing today. The first, how a hat can complete your outfit. And the second, how wearing different hats with the same dress can transform your outfit and give you a totally new look. And we will start with this lacy beige dress worn with two different styles of hats. On the left is a large smarty hat with a sculptural trim and veil. On the right is a perching straw saucer with lace applique and a sculptural straw trim. Now, the key difference here is the placement of the trims and the lines created by the hats. On the Smarty, we've got round shapes with the trim placed on the back of the hat facing forwards. I prefer the second option, however, I'd add that belt back on to break up the continuous lace pattern. The tall vertical lines in this hat accentuate Catherine's height and slim silhouette. Placing the trim at the back of this disc hat fills the void and anchors the hat to the head. Increasing the footprint of a hat on the head gives a stately grounding effect. Next up, a belted princess-seamed grey dress featuring a black velvet collar. Whilst the dress looks lovely on its own, by adding a hat the outfit is complete, especially as this is a gorgeous velour teardrop percher trimmed with a felt poppy. The texture of the velour felt mirrors the texture of the velvet collar. Okay, so maybe this outfit wasn't as successful with a hat, but I promise this is the only time I will say this. The pointy, feathered, covered cone doesn't really work with any features of the outfit. Even though it is black and white, the feathers are forming lines, whereas the dress features polka dots. Straight lines and circles just don't mix well. The addition of the spray of feathers seems to come out of nowhere. In my opinion, a small pillbox or even a chunky black headband would have done much better here. As whilst between these two images the no hat option looks better, I am always going to advise wearing some sort of head accessory. I think this leopard print coat is crying out for something with a wider brim, but also I think these textures are mismatched. When I see leopard print, I think warmth, fuzziness, autumn, but here Catherine is wearing a straw percher. This is going to sound very lazy, but just like with the previous polka dots, I think a chunky fabric headband or a pillbox would be a better shape and texture match. Without the hat, the outfit looks nice, but just not complete. Now in this example, I think this coat is too plain to be worn without any accessories. These large smarty buttons were very much the it hat shape back in 2012, and I think they are due for a comeback any season now. However, with Catherine's tall, slim figure, this style of flat, squat hat doesn't accentuate this, especially when worn forwards onto the face. She needs some height, either created by the hat shape or by an extravagant trim. Just like here, this cute, small felt perching pillbox has some height thanks to the sculptural bow at the back. When this flared textured coat is worn without a hat, it's nothing special. But add the correct hat and suddenly it's a complete outfit. When selecting what hat to wear, texture is an important seasonal indicator. With the same blue coat, a straw hat denotes a summer look, and with a felt hat, a winter one. It is interesting that Catherine's overall silhouette is the same with both looks, down to the pumps and the letter clutch bag, and even a similar hat shape. Both times a round shape with what can be classed as an inverted lip worn forwards onto the face. Wintertime opens up a lot of opportunities to have fun with felt hats. With this tartan coat, Catherine wears a perching beret trimmed with a sculptural bow. The soft texture of the felt hat matches the softness of her suede boots. When worn without the hat, I find the outfit much less exciting, but that is a really cute little handbag. For this look, I would have put her in the same hat shape as the other picture, but maybe this time in a green leather hat to match her handbag. I have to say, I really think green is Catherine's best colour for winter looks. On the left is the same felt perching beret from the previous look, and on the right is a very practical alpaca fur hat. On the left, the felt hat is the same green tone as the coat. Matching the colours and textures of the majority colour creates a very cohesive look. On the right, the dark fur hat matches the collar and cuffs of the coat. This creates a more practical and casual high contrast look. As for the hair up versus hair down debate, wearing larger head-fitting hats with hair up is practically impossible, as a bun at the nape of the neck will displace the hat fitting line. So really the only option with the alpaca fur hat is hair down and flowing. Whereas when it comes to small perching hats, I always think hair up looks better. Here is the same felt perching beret, but this time paired with a tailored double-breasted wool coat. As you can see, the same coat without the hat looks somehow unfinished. These next looks are more interesting to compare than when there is no hat at all. On the left is a black velour felt teardrop percher trimmed with a black felt poppy, and on the right is a brown pillbox, tilted and worn forwards onto the face. First off, I think the look on the right looks more sophisticated due to the skin-coloured tights rather than the black tights on the left. But that could just be a personal vendetta of mine against black tights. I absolutely hate the things after having been forced to wear them to school for 12 years. I'm curious, have you also got strong opinions on black tights, or is that just me? Let me know in the comments. I only wear skin-coloured hosiery now, as I think it looks a lot more natural and elegant. I am also biased towards pillbox hats, as that is my personal favourite shape. The other thing that really stands out to me is the softer contrast between the brown and the green compared to the black and the green. Catherine has very soft features, so softer colour contrasts work better on her. One last key difference here are the hair choices. Both styles suit both hats perfectly well, but if you are trying to pick how to wear your hair with a hat, consider the feeling of your outfit. I would say hair up in a bun portrays a more sensible, ready-to-work attitude, not to mention it being more practical, as hair won't fly around and get stuck to your face. However, hair down is more youthful, fun and flirty. I'll leave this choice up to you. Another green coat. This particular double-breasted green wool coat has a velvet collar, cuffs and pocket flaps. Just as in all the previous examples, there are two ways to wear a hat with a coat like this. Either match the velvet accents in the hat. Catherine does this with a simple velvet headband bandeau, or match the main body of the coat as in the middle picture with an inverted lip saucer. I have placed these two images next to one of Catherine wearing no hat with the same coat for your reference. These two hats are so fundamentally different that they really change the tone of the outfit. The velvet headband worn off the face is very appropriate for a church service, as it is not too extravagant, whereas the forward worn disc style is a little more fun and coquettish for a lighter St. Patrick's Day celebration. Having now looked at all of Catherine's green coat ensembles, I have noticed something, and maybe you have too. All the looks for St. Patrick's Day are practically identical, with pretty much the only difference in silhouette being the hat. Every time it's the same shaped fit and flare green coat paired with the same style of shoes. And this is exactly why hats are so much fun. I think there is more scope in variation of hats compared to variations in outerwear. Incidentally, this is pretty much how I dress in the colder months, although instead of having 3 of practically the same green coat, I only have the one, which I can pair up with many different hats. Onto some grey tones next. Both of these hats create a remarkably different silhouette. On the left is a perching beret with a loopy trim, and on the right is a disc hat with another loopy trim. This is one of those times where the occasion has played a part in the choice of the hat. The perching beret was worn to a wedding. This style of hat sits close to the head and doesn't take up a lot of space around the wearer. As Catherine is not the centre of attention on someone else's wedding day, it is more sensible to dress down and be in more muted colours and shapes to make sure the attention is firmly on the bride. However, the picture on the right is from the Order of the Garter ceremony, which is a royal event, so naturally the public will want to be able to easily distinguish Catherine in a crowd. So a larger hat that takes up a lot more space around her will make her easier to spot from a distance. In this next example, I thought we'd change things up a little and have a look at how a similar shaped hat can be worn with 2 different dress silhouettes. On the left is a lightweight chiffon flowy dress with fabulously light bishop sleeves. On the right, a severe straight coat in a heavier structured satin fabric. Both hats are disc styles worn tilted forwards onto the face. This leaves space at the back of the hat for the trim. The floaty chiffon dresses hat is trimmed with a delicate cabbage rose which mimics the folds created at the hem of the dress. Whereas the other hat has a more simpler, abstract trim, the straight lines of which follow the vertical seam lines in the coat. Here, with these baby pink coats and hats, we are back to looking at changing the overall silhouette of the whole outfit. The style lines these hats create make us focus our attention on different parts of Catherine's outfits. Both of these hats create a sense of upward movement. The teardrop percher on the left does this with its trim, whereas the straw hat on the right has an angled brim. With the teardrop percher, the verticality extends the prominent centre front closure upwards, drawing our attention to the hat, and therefore to Catherine's face. But as the straw-brimmed hat is angled, it cuts that vertical line in the coat, forcing us to look at the baby bump instead. Now, this is a style I would like to see Catherine wear more. I think this modified trilby is a masterpiece. Even though it is worn with the hair down in curls, there is no competition between the hair and the hat, as the length and weight of the curls counterbalance the lift at the back of this hat. Catherine has also worn this coat without any hat, but with the addition of a wide belt. The whole look is a lot more modern without the hat, but with the hat there is a certain level of romantic charm. I have already made this point so many times. Look at how incomplete this outfit looks. It really is missing something, but add a hat and it just looks better. With long coat dresses, a pillbox hat worn straight on top of the head is a very elegant and simple way to complete the look without overcomplicating it. And just like with Catherine's green and brown pairings, this red and brown pairing has a softer contrast that suits her complexion very well. In this picture pairing, we can see how a hat worn on the back of the head creates a different style line to a hat worn forwards. Now, it's no secret that I am a big fan of pillboxes, but I think the hat on the right suits Catherine much better. Although this is probably more to do with the hair being worn in a bun, which is also my preferred way to wear hair with hats, especially in windy conditions. I remember when I first saw pictures of Catherine in this hat on the left, I was and still am very much in awe of this creation. I think it is so perfect for her. I love the depth created in the camellia trim by using a darker shade for the leaves. This darker shade is picked up on in the shoes, clutch and gloves. The placement of the camellia right on the inside centre of the hat very much draws your eye to Catherine's face. I would call this a "look at me, I am here" type of hat. The halo style on the right is a more sensible style of hat. This is another example of how the occasion can dictate the hat style. This halo was worn for a Christmas church service, so it is respectful to not stand out too much. The disc style was for a working royal event where Catherine's job is to be seen and looked at. I find myself making this next point in almost every hat commentary video. This black hat is trimmed with a veil, not a net. It's not netting, it's a veil. This is a net, and this is also a net. In millinery, net is a foundation material like buckram or Paris net. This is a veil. It's a fun trim and it's not used as a foundation material. I understand that this probably doesn't matter to normal, everyday individuals who just want to look at pretty pictures of hats, but many fashion editors in giant publications use the terms veil and net interchangeably, and it's just getting on my nerves every time I see this happen. Moving on, notice that we haven't seen Catherine with many veiled hats so far. That's because veils tend to look best on older ladies, or for occasions where you might want to shield your eyes, like at a funeral. The function of a veil when worn close to the face is a little bit like a beauty or de-aging filter on TikTok. However, if you are young and want to still have some fun with veils, I recommend something more exuberant, like my classic veil pillbox model, where the veil here is the poofy trim element, or my head in the clouds model, where the veil is completely off the face and surrounds your head, giving you a beautiful aura. And now a quick teal number. I think this peplum dress looks more finished with the addition of the black perching beret. To take the black through the outfit, Catherine has added a matching black belt with a statement gold buckle. Catherine keeps re-wearing this same black hat with many other dresses, so it seems to be one of her favourite staples. If you are new to hat wearing and would like a hat that can be re-worn again and again, you can't go wrong with a shape like this in a neutral colour. We've seen lots of round hats, but what about square ones? I remember at the time this ushered in a brief fad for square-shaped hats. This didn't stick around because our heads are oval, and wearing a box on your head isn't exactly the epitome of comfort. Although I can see why this hat was chosen to be worn with this dress, which itself is essentially a series of rectangles. Here is the same dress with a wide V-neck and collar worn 3 different ways thanks to the hats. In the first picture, the hat is a textured halo style. As it is completely off the face, it provides a lovely framing effect and leaves the poppy brooch center stage. In the second picture, this hat is a perching beret worn forwards onto the face with a trim over the eyes. The trim placement brings our attention to Catherine's eyes and creates a pleasing triangle shape in harmony with the coat neckline. In the third picture, we see a tilted disc-style hat with the rose trim placed towards the back under the brim. This diagonal movement in the hat dresses up this otherwise plain coat. And with this set of images, we are going quite far back in time to 2011 and 2006. I am so glad the era of overly fussy feather fascinators is over, as I don't think they do anyone any favours. In Catherine's case, even though her coat is a very simple cut, the overly textured paisley brocade fabric has to compete with the burst of feathers for our attention. Silhouette-wise, the disc hat adorned with a giant rose is much sleeker and matches the simple cut of the coat much better. If you like the hats I've been wearing today, you can purchase them through the link in the description box. I hope you've all had a fabulous time looking through the millinery of Catherine, the Princess of Wales. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment about which look was your favourite. Also, why not share this video with a friend who is into either Catherine's royal fashion or hats? You can find me on all the socials listed here and sign up to my newsletter all about hats right up here. Thank you all so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.